Yo, this is the Scarcity Studios YouTube channel. Please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. And our sponsors are Alpha Claims and Hire, Birmingham, the leading and best accident management company. Get a replacement car anywhere in 1 hour. Prostitution is a very old form of business. The earliest records of it go back to 2400 BC, where there was a brothel in a temple in the Sumerian city of Uruk, and it was dedicated to a goddess called Ishtar. But it has always been society's taboo. It's always been quite hidden. Nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody knows how to deal with it. And due to this fact, a lot of girls ended up walking around on the streets trying to sell their bodies, which actually endangered them. 2006, where Stephen Wright killed several prostitutes in the Ipswich area. Wright was found guilty in February 2008. Every single victim was a prostitute that he killed, and this started to make councils and the government start to wonder what they could possibly do to try to prevent this sort of thing from happening again. In the north of England, in Leeds, they actually made a legal red light district where it was called a managed approach to prostitution, where they allowed sex workers to operate on certain roads at certain times. Again, not very spoken about, but another example of how they dealt with the violence that can come, because at the end of the day, some people are always going to want to work in this industry. Does that mean that they deserve to die for what they're doing, is the question. In this story, a gang of robbers used the same method to rob prostitutes on several different occasions. They would call up to book an appointment, and then when the unsuspecting escort opened the door, the other men would force their way in and rob the victim. On 2 occasions, this involved both the women they found at the address. The women were subjected to being tied up with items the men came with or found at the premises, and others were threatened with knives before they took cards, cash, phones and other personal belongings that were stolen. The frightening ordeals all the victims endured had psychological damaging effects, the judge said in court. In a victim impact statement, it said the woman, who was called Christina, described the fact that her friend, a fellow escort who was targeted in the same incident, had severely reduced confidence and she was not able to work, and due to that she lost a lot of income. The men targeted several different locations in a variety of areas, starting in June 2018 with a robbery at an address in Westminster, South Moulton Street, W1. This was followed by 3 robberies within a 3-day period on October 2018. One was at the Isle of Dogs, on Blackwall Way and Campston Square, and one on Colville Estate in Hackney, East London. By December 2018, they moved into Kensington, robbing an address on Cromwell Road, SW5. The final 2 robberies took place in Tower Hamlets within a 2-day period, and on January 2019 on Brune Street and Assam Street in East London also. CCTV at an address later captured Vyte and Silonis and one unidentified male waving a big knife and violently kicking indoors. Detectives investigating a series of crimes were faced with a challenge of forensic evidence. Just one lead emerged from all of the crime scenes: a fragment of latex glove left by one of the attackers. So they found one of the attackers, and then through phone records and data, they was able to connect him to other robbers that was part of this series of robberies. The police spent a long time going through their phones, trying to connect them all through text, phones and internet activity. In addition, a large number of hours of CCTV footage was also recovered and examined. They arrested Vyte on January the 20th, 2018 and charged him the next day. Blay was initially arrested on the 2nd of January, first appearing at Thames Magistrates Court, and Coke was arrested on the 12th of January 2019 and charged the following day. The detective in charge of the case said these crimes were committed by a ruthless group of armed men with knives. They targeted vulnerable women working in their own homes. They attacked these women believing they would not report the crimes to police due to fear, harassment, or the belief that women would see this as an occupational hazard. The police officers praised the women for coming forward and said they'd like to assure them that the men involved in the escort trade should never make them feel like their lives are in danger. They also said all officers should treat sex workers with respect and recognise that safeguarding vulnerable people is the main priority of the police. So I think this story is very interesting because it highlights a lot of the factors of the taboo nature of this industry, where it does exist and people, no matter how much they want to pretend it doesn't, it will always exist. So it's a case of how to make it as safe as possible, but at the same time not encouraging people to do it for the unnecessary reasons. So I really do appreciate you joining me. I really want to hear your opinions on this. So please don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe to the Scarcity Studios YouTube channel. Peace.